My sister demanded I babysit her three little monsters while they flew first class on the $12,000 family vacation I paid for. Then my mom said, "Son, maybe someday you'll earn the right to join us on vacations." I said, "I'm not your sitter." My sister added, "Step up or get out." So I got out and took action. No one expected what would happen next. My name is Henry. I'm 33, the oldest, the steady one. I manage a big box store on the night rotation. I know exactly how many pallets fit down aisle 9 and which teenager will call out 5 minutes before shift. I'm the guy who fixes things. The guy who never says no. Saturday started with my sister pounding on my door like I was late for a fire. She didn't wait for hello. She just pushed in, tossed a diaper bag on my sofa, and said, "You're babysitting the monsters while we head to the airport." I blinked at her. "The what?" "My 3. She said, already texting. "You know monsters? Quit pretending you don't love them." Behind her, my mom slipped in like a storm front, wearing that face she uses when she's already decided something. "Son," she said sharp and bright, "maybe someday you'll earn the right to join us on vacations. For now, do your part." I stood there in my own doorway, in my own paid-off sneakers, trying to process the speeding I just watched. "The $12,000 family vacation," I said quietly. "The one I paid for." My sister's thumb didn't stop moving. "Flights go up if you drag your feet." I glanced at the kids. Shoes on the wrong feet. One sticky face. A tablet with a cracked screen playing a cartoon on full blast. My living room smelled like grape juice and panic. "I manage a store," I said. "I work tonight." My mom gave me a look like I'd said a joke at a funeral. "You can swap. You always swap." "I swapped last week for your dentist," I said. "That was different," she said. I took a breath. "I'm not your sitter." My sister finally looked up. "Step up," she said flat like a boss, giving an HR warning, "or get out." I stared at her, at my mom, at the diaper bag, bleeding wipes onto my couch, at the text preview on my sister's phone. First class upgrade confirmed. Something in my chest moved. Not loud, not hot, just done. "Okay," I said. "I'll get out." No one expected what would happen next. Not them, definitely not me. But the first click had already happened in my head. Quiet. Final. I picked up the diaper bag by 2 fingers and set it back into my sister's arms. "Find another sitter," I said, and closed the door on the only family I'd ever had. I didn't become the responsible one because I loved rules. I became him because someone had to make dinner when Dad dipped. Because someone had to sign for packages when Mom worked doubles and forgot. Because my sister, bright, wild, allergic to consequences, was always the crisis of the hour. I was the one who held things together. At 16, I bagged groceries to pay our electric bill. At 20, I slept in my car between community college classes and the warehouse. At 28, I took the graveyard manager job because the extra $2.50 per hour meant my sister could finish her medical billing certificate. I covered deposits, phone bills, emergencies that looked a lot like new lashes, and a winter trip to Miami. Every time I hesitated, Mom said, "You're the man of the house." Then when I did it, she said, "That's what family is." The thing about being the man of a house is you never get to be the son. 2 years ago, my sister had her 3rd baby. The father had a motorcycle and a disappearing act. I stepped in. I installed car seats. I built a crib at 3 a.m. on my only night off. I learned which formula didn't make the middle kid scream. I fixed the dryer with parts one pulled from a junked one behind the store. I didn't complain out loud. I kept the record of every transfer in a clean spreadsheet named family. I never sent it. I told myself I didn't need recognition. I told myself I was strong because I didn't. Then my sister texted, "Big family vacation idea. We deserve it." The group chat lit up. My Aunt Hart reacted. My cousin dropped a beach gif. Mom wrote, "Henry can book. He's good at computers." I shouldn't have answered, but she caught me at work between a vendor call and a pallet break. "Just hold the rooms." My mom said, "We'll pay you back after taxes." After taxes became after summer became, "Stop pressuring us, Henry. Money isn't everything." In the end, the number was $11,74268. Flights and hotel, and a suite with a balcony for the littles. I told myself it was okay. I told myself that watching them all be happy on a beach would be worth the overtime migraines. I told myself they would remember. What they remembered was that I was a wallet. The week before the flight, my sister called at 6:12 a.m. "I need you to watch the kids the day we leave," she said, like we'd already agreed. "We're going to hit the lounge early. Get those free mimosas." "I work nights," I said. "I sleep mornings." "I've told you that 100 times. Sleep when you're dead," she said. "We're flying across the country with 3 toddlers. Be a brother." Mom called before I could sip coffee. "Don't make things hard," she said. "If you'd settled down by now, you'd understand how much your sister needs help. She does everything alone." I didn't say the line that burned my throat. She doesn't do it alone. I do it with her. I didn't bring up the last Christmas when I spent my bonus on a Nintendo Switch because my sister wanted the kids to have the same as their classmates. Or the time I left my shift during inventory to pick up her oldest from preschool because she'd forgotten. Or the Valentine's weekend I slept on her couch so she could go out and feel 21 again. I just said, "We'll figure it out." Which in our family was code for Henry will handle it. 2 days before the flight, I opened our family chat to find a photo of my sister's luggage lined up at the door from matching rose gold suitcases with monogram tags. I stared at it while my microwave screamed about the cup noodles I'd been eating too often. I read the caption twice. "First class upgrade, manifesting good times." I opened my banking app and scrolled past the resort charge. The flight upgrades weren't on my card. Okay, cool. Maybe her child support finally kicked in. Maybe mom helped. Then I saw the payment history for cash transfers to my sister since March. $300, $450, $150, $200. Captioned with the same lie each time. "I'll pay you back when we file taxes." We were in July that night during a break. I stood in the back hallway by the dented Pepsi machine and watched security camera footage of teenage shelf stalkers making TikToks on the loading dock. I should have told the assistant to crack down, but I couldn't make myself care. I was thinking about 12 grand about manifesting while my sheets smelled like stale coffee. About the way small debts turn into a story a family tells about you. He loves to help. He never says no. The morning of the flight, they showed up at 7:42 like a delivery window. I hadn't agreed to. My sister had a blowout and white nails. My mom wore a visor and the same perfume she saved for weddings. "You're a lifesaver," my sister said, pushing past me. "They're already fed." Well, technically, the kids were adorable. I won't lie. The oldest ran to my fridge, yelling, "Pickles." Like we were doing a bit. The baby grabbed my beard and his entire tiny fist and said, "Hen." The middle one climbed onto my sofa and announced the couch was a ship and I was the ocean and I should be quiet. I almost softened. Then my mom said the line she'd been saving. "Son, maybe someday you'll earn the right to join us on vacations." Earn. I looked at the 3 suitcases, at the 3 kids, at the diaper bag, on my couch bleeding wipes, and demands at my sister's, lock screen bright with first class. I felt it click, a quiet, gentle lock. "I'm not your sitter," I said. My sister didn't flinch. She smirked. "Step up or get out." I got out. I picked up the diaper bag, placed it in her arms, and nodded toward the door. "Airport's that way." Mom's voice sharpened. "Don't test us, Henry." I held her gaze. I already passed. When the door clicked shut behind them, the silence was a new kind of loud. My apartment felt bigger, also emptier. I stood there listening to my own breathing, and the old fridge hum, waiting for guilt to crash over me like it always did. It didn't. Not yet. I opened my laptop. I pulled up the spreadsheet, called family. I scrolled the 12,000 reasons I was done. Then I started a new tab, titled Boundaries. I didn't know what the plan was, just that I'd finally need one. They came back 5 minutes later, furious and louder. My sister shoved the door so hard it bounced off the stopper. "You're really going to do this?" she said, "after everything I've done for you." I blinked. "Like what?" She opened and shut her mouth 3 times. I who took care of you when you had the flu last year? I dash soup. I said, Mom, step forward. Enough. We don't have time for this. Put your shoes on and do as your mother asks. I'm 33. Exactly. She said, start acting like it. I looked at the kids again. Big eyes, wide open world. None of this was their fault. I love them. I said, I'll help. Next time with notice. But today, no. Wow, my sister said, dragging the word out like gum. Maybe someday you'll earn the right to be part of a family. There it was again. Earn. I walked to the coffee table. I picked up the printouts from booking. I tucked them under a magazine because I didn't want to look. I held them up. 12,000, I said. From my card, booked under my login. Chosen by you. You said you'd pay me back after taxes. My sister rolled her eyes so hard it was a workout. We will. Tax season ended, I said. So did spring. So did my patience. Mom's mouth went thin. Money isn't everything. It is when the person who paid isn't invited to use the thing he paid for. Silence. The kids shifted. The baby chewed the end of his shirt. My sister took a step toward me. You're being so dramatic. I kept my voice even. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take your kids with you. You're going to the airport. I'm not watching them today. And when you get home, we're going to review our finances like adults. My mom laughed. It was short and sharp. Who do you think you are? A banker? A manager? I said, who can do math? My sister lifted her chin. Step up or get out. My throat felt dry. My hands didn't shake. I walked to the door and held it open. Okay, I said. Get out. That was the moment it flipped. The emotion left and the logic moved in. I felt like I do when the truck is late and I have to redo the floor set in 3 hours. Focused, cold, steady. Fine. My sister snapped, jerking the diaper bag higher. Well, figure out. Don't beg me to bring you a magnet. They filed out. Mom lingered. You'll regret this. I regret a lot. I said, not this. She gave me a look that used to make me 13 again. It bounced off. The door shut. The stairwell swallowed their footsteps. I exhaled once and then opened my laptop again. I wasn't angry. I was done. And being done felt like a blank piece of paper and a working pen. I pulled up the travel reservation site. Under guest names, I read each field twice. The suite with the balcony, the extra rollway, the kids' club passes, all under my account. All changeable until midnight. That's when the real plan arrived. Simple, fair, nonviolent, legal consequences. I typed. Step 1 was practical. I removed my card as the primary on the hotel account. Added a prepaid card with a strict limit. Left the reservation. Changed the check-in time to after 6 p.m. because I'm petty but not cruel. They could still stay. They just couldn't charge room service and spa days to me. Step 2 was cleaner. I camled the lounge access add-on I purchased because my sister told me the kids will melt without free muffins. Refund went to the original card mine. The app showed a spinning wheel. Then success. Step 3. I opened the chat locks. Screenshots of we'll pay you after taxes, of you're a lifesaver, of he's good at computers. I saved them to a folder named receipts. I didn't blast them anywhere. I just kept them where I could see the story exactly as it happened. My phone buzzed on Q session. Where is the lounge code? We're at security. Kids tired. Send the code now. Me. Lounge access can lead. Refund my card. Have a safe flight. The typing bubble broke the sound barrier. Sis, what? Is this a joke? Me? No joke. We'll discuss repayment when you get back. I muted the thread. My apartment went quiet again. I made eggs. I cleaned grape jelly from the sofa arm. I put the cartoons on low for 2 minutes because the silence made the apartment feel like a rented stage after the actors left. At 10:31, my aunt called. I watched it ring out. At 10:33, my cousin texted, "You okay?" Then your mom is saying you can-led their entire trip. Did you? I answered, no. I changed who pays for extras. They're still flying to the vacation I booked. The phone started to feel heavy. At noon, I left for work early. It's a weird comfort stepping into fluorescent light and knowing exactly which end cap is missing a price tag. I signed for a paper towel delivery. I told a kid to clock back in. Normal things. A line of customers with cat litter and cereal. No one here knew. I just cut the cord that tied my life to someone else's panic. At 2:14, the pictures started rolling in on social. My sister smiling under a first-class arch. The kids licking pastries. My mom posting a shot of her hand on a champagne flute with the caption, "We deserve nice things." No tags, no thanks, no mention of me. The comments were a parade. Gorgeous. So happy for you. Much needed. My stomach did the small cold roll it does when we find out a pallet is short by 8. At 4:02, the energy shifted. Session. They're making us bored later because the kids are cranky and they can't find the lounge muffins. This is your fault. M. The baby spilled juice. He's sticky. This is your fault. Me? You're their mom and grandma. They went silent. I went to walk the floor. Checked the battery on the pallet jack. Helped an old man reach light bulbs. Told a teenager his break wasn't optional. It was the law. At 6:47, my phone buzzed again. SJS, where's the hotel card on file? They said there's a limit and we can't put the damage deposit on it. Me. The deposit is refundable. Put it on your card. You'll get it back. Session. We don't have room. Transfer it. Me. Number 10 minutes. 20. Then Henry, this is not funny. Think of the children. Me, I am. I'm also thinking of the man who paid for this trip. 3 dots. Nothing. At 9:18, my assistant manager knocked on the office door. You good? She asked. Why? You've been smiling. I hadn't noticed. Close to midnight. Another text. A photo of a dark airport. Kids asleep in a pile of limbs. My sister's caption. We had to downgrade. No hotel tonight. Happy. I stared at the photo. I felt something like grief try to climb up my throat. I swallowed it. Typed. I'm sorry the kids are caught in this. You can still check in tomorrow. Let me know when you want to discuss repayment and boundaries. No answer. I closed the store. I drove home through empty streets. I slept 5 hours without waking once. The next morning, I made coffee. I opened receipts. I added last night's messages. Then I did something I'd never done. I wrote out terms like a normal adult who wasn't raised inside a guilt machine. Repayment plan, $500 per month until balance is 0. No more last-minute childcare. 72 hours, notice minimum. No insults. No earn the right lines. If these terms aren't respected, we pause support for 90 days. I printed it. I wasn't going to serve it like a landlord. I just needed to see it on paper, not in my head. That afternoon, my sister's friend DM'd me a story I wasn't supposed to see. My sister in a hotel bathroom whispered yelling at her phone. He canceled our lounge passes, she said to the camera. He took back his money like he owns us. He thinks he's better because he has a job. The comments were a mixed bag. Some clapped. Some call me a jerk. One said, sounds like he's setting boundaries. I hearted that one, not out loud. Day 2, they made it to the hotel. Day 3, my mom posted sunrise photos like nothing had happened. Day 4, my sister uploaded a shot of the kids at the beach with the caption, when life knocks you down, put your toes in the sand. No mention of the man whose card the sand was charged to. Fine. I didn't need a parade. I needed a plan. On day 5, while they were still gone, I did one more thing. I moved my emergency savings to a new bank. Changed every password, including the one for the family streaming accounts. Sent one last text. Me, when you get back, we'll meet. Sunday, 3:00 p.m. My place. No kids. We'll make it concrete. Am busy. Guess. Travel day. Exhausted. Come to us. Me? No, my place. If you want my involvement, you come to my table. No answer. I set 2 chairs anyway. I made coffee. I laid the printed terms on the table like a menu. At 3:22, the knock came. Not dramatic, not violent, just there. I opened the door. Mom and my sister stood in the hallway. No kids, no suitcases, tired, sunburned. My sister's mouth twitched like she wanted to fight and nap at the same time. "Can we sit?" she said, not really asking. We sat. I slid the paper to the center. "What's this?" my mom said, already offended at the font. "Boundaries," I said. "And a repayment plan." My sister scoffed. "We told you we'd pay you back." When I said, she opened and closed her mouth after taxes. "It's July." Silence. I spoke slowly like I do when I need a crew of teens to understand why we zone in caps in a specific order. "I'm not punishing you. I'm changing my role. I'm not the default. I won't be your sitter unless I agree. I won't be your card. We can still be family, but it has to be fair." My mom leaned back, crossed her arms. "We raised you to help. You raised me to disappear," I said. Quiet. Not cruel. "True," she flinched. "Not much enough." My sister stared at the paper like it might bite. $500 a month, she said. "For how long?" "Until it's done," I said. "We can set automatic transfers so we don't fight monthly." She laughed once, shredded. "We don't have $500. You have lash appointments," I said, then took a breath. "Sorry, that was mean. Let's be real. If you can't afford $500, you can't afford first class. You can downgrade that and pay your brother." Her eyes flashed. "Don't tell me how to live. Then don't spend my money to do it." We sat in that thick air. The old fridge hummed. An upstairs neighbor's kid thumped across the ceiling in the exact rhythm of impatience. Mom's voice softened, a trick I knew by heart. "Henry, we're just trying to survive." "So am I said. "I'm not shaming you. I'm saying I won't go broke to keep you comfortable." My sister's jaw worked. "What if we start at $200 for 3 months, then $400, then $500? I nodded. "That's a start." She stared at the paper a long time. Then she did the smallest, bravest thing I've seen her do. She reached for the pen. She signed. She didn't look at me while she did it. She looked at the table like the wood was judging her. My mom didn't sign. She pushed the paper back with one finger like it had germs. "I'm not part of this." "You're part of the insults," I said. "No more earn the right talk ever. If I hear it again, I leave the conversation. Every time." She stood like a verdict. "You children think you invented boundaries. We called them respect." "Then respect me," I said. She left without slamming the door. My sister lingered. "I'll try," she said. It sounded like a dare she was giving herself. I believed her. Not because of the pen, because of the way her eyes looked when she said it. Tired. Ready. The first transfer hit my account on the 1st of the month. $200 in a caption of 3 emojis. No words. I took a screenshot anyway and put it in receipts. Not to hold over her, but to remind myself that change can be small and still be change. 2 weeks later, my sister texted, "Can you watch the kids Saturday? 10 to 1. I'll pay you $60 and bring food." I read it twice. Money notice and end time. I smiled at the screen like a maniac in the break room. Me? Yes. 10 to 1. She showed up at 9:55 with a bag of breakfast tacos and a wrinkled 20 and 2 tins. She counted out like rent. I almost said, "Don't worry about it." I didn't. I took the cash. I put it in a jar by the microwave labeled Kid Chaos Fund. It felt weird. It felt right. The kids were amazing for 2 hours and then feral for 1. At 1:03, she came back breathless, cheeks pink, holding a receipt from a nail place. A fill, not a full set. Progress. She hugged me quick, awkward. Thanks. After they left, my apartment smelled like syrup and victory. I cleaned the couch with real cleaner. I opened the window. I didn't feel used. I felt like an uncle. That night, Mom posted a quote on Facebook about honoring parents. No names. I didn't take the bait. I watched a movie and didn't share my login. At work, I stopped volunteering for every emergency shift. I told my assistant manager to take the lead on the end cap reset, then actually let her. She nailed it. I took a Saturday night and went to a minor league baseball game by myself. I ate an overpriced hot dog and sent a picture of the fireworks to nobody. Sometimes the emptiness came. It didn't drown me. I wrote, I cooked. I slept. 1 month turned to 2. The transfers kept coming. Sometimes late, sometimes split in 2, sometimes with a note that said sorry, sometimes with no note at all. Each time I sent a thumbs up, not no problem. Not all good, just a small green light that we were still on the road. And when I saw a sale on kids' shoes at my store, I texted my sister a photo and a code and said, if you want, I can ring it with my employee discount. You can pay me later or not. Your call. She sent back a picture of the middle kid doing a thumbs up so big it covered half his face. I didn't cry. My eyes watered because I'd been cutting onions. I don't even like onions. One evening, Mom called. I stared at the ID like it could do tricks. I answered. She didn't ask for money. She didn't apologize. She said, your Aunt Elma's birthday is Sunday. Come. It would mean a lot to her. I waited for the hook. There wasn't one. Okay, I said. I'll swing by after my shift. When I walked in, my mom handed me a plate before she handed me a lecture. Progress. She didn't say earn the right. She didn't say man of the house. She talked about the weather and church and the neighbor's cat. When I left, she stood at the door like she wanted to say something else and didn't. In the car, my phone buzzed. A text from her. It was 2 words. Thank you. I put it in receipts, not the folder. My heart closure wasn't fireworks. No cliff. No swelling music. It was making coffee and having enough. Phone on Do Not Disturb at 10. Real sleep till the alarm. Saying yes when I meant yes. No when I meant no. No essays attached. There are slips. Mom posts a quote about children who forget. I don't bite. I do laundry. That's a boundary too. My sister called. Drop everything. I said, I can do $6 to $8 $20 per hour. She led then. Okay. See you at 6. I don't love charging family, but I love that she stops taking without asking. We're changing. Messy real. The kids call me hen. My place turns to joyful chaos. After the quiet is good. I keep the family sheet as a wins log. First repayment. Sister brought food. Mom asked about my life with no request attached. On my fridge, the park photo. Her hand studying, not taking over. That's my role now. A hand, not a wallet. Love is choosing what I give and trusting others to carry theirs. Respect isn't earned by obeying. It's baseline and rebuilt by change. I'm not their sitter. I'm their brother. A manager who knows his limits. I didn't do revenge. I did paperwork, passwords, a printed page that marks where I end and they begin. Slowly, a new family showed up. Awkward, less guilty, more honest. And me, cheap lake cabin, bad coffee, good silence, phone face down, water moving, boundaries are quiet. That's the point.